Hey everyone, it's Riley. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some easy Christmas themed DIYs for hamsters. I've got a few toys to make and one decoration to make your cage look a little bit more Christmassy, and I just think everything turned out super cute. So let's just get into the video. The first toy is a hanging boredom breaker, and you're going to need some cardboard for this, some non-toxic water-based white paint, and a paintbrush of course, scissors or a knife to cut out your cardboard, some string. I use the length of string about 2 feet long. You're also going to need a needle that you can thread your string through, and some of these wicker ball bird toys. I got these in a big pack off Amazon. I'll put the link to the product in the description if you want to go ahead and check that out. You're going to need a pencil, and something to trace circles with. I used this random tea can thing because it looked kind of cute. So we're going to start out by tracing some circles onto the cardboard. I went ahead and traced 4, but you can make as many as you like, and it all just depends on how long you want the hanging boredom breaker to be. With everything all traced, we can go ahead and cut those circles out. Now you're going to take the pencil and sketch 2 little dots in the top and the bottom of every circle, about 1/4 inch away from the edge. Then we're going to be stabbing these dots with the needle because these circles are eventually going to be threaded onto the string, sort of like beads. Once you're finished piercing holes in all the circles, you can sketch a cute snowflake design on each one and then paint them over with some white paint. You want to know what would have been an even better idea? Like if I made a snowman. So you make 3 tiers of circles and then you paint them like a snowman. So the head of the snowman with like the carrot nose and whatever, and then the middle and the bottom. That would have been so much cuter and I just thought of it right now. What a bummer. So there's an idea for you. If you do that, let me know in the comments because that sounds really cute, and I really wish I had thought of that while I was making this video, but I didn't, and I don't know why. Since everything's painted and dried, we're going to grab our string and the needle. We're going to knot the string over a couple of times so that nothing slips through, and we're going to thread the needle. Then you can begin threading everything onto the string. Start by poking your needle through the front of the circle and then coming out through the back. Next, just thread a wicker ball on there and keep on alternating until you've got nothing left to string on. So here is the final boredom breaker. I love how it turned out. It's literally so cute. You can put little treats inside the wicker balls and your hamster will be able to forage for it. The next DIY is a super easy one. I think it's probably the easiest toy to make out of the whole video. We're going to be making a little paper Christmas tree cone with some hamster food inside. So you're going to need some cardboard, some construction paper, a glue stick, scissors or a knife to cut out your cardboard and your paper, a pencil, a cone template. Just search cone template up on Google and there are tons of options and sizes from there. You're also going to need a hot glue gun as well, but it is possible to also use Elmer's glue if you're more comfortable with that option. And you're going to need some of your hamster's seed mix. So to start off, you're going to take your cone template and trace that onto the construction paper, and then just go ahead and cut it out. Next, you're going to take your glue stick, put a little glue on one of the straight edges, and then roll up the cone. So with that all done, you're going to take your finished cone and trace the base of it onto the cardboard, then just cut that circle out. And then you will be ready to move on to the next step. Now all that's left to do is get some of your hamster's food and pour some of that into the cone. Then you're going to glue that cardboard circle to the base of the cone to seal the whole thing up. And that's it for this DIY. Here's the final hamster toy. I made a couple variations in different sizes and colors, and they probably would have taken me about 5 minutes to make if I wasn't filming. The next DIY is by far my favorite out of the entire video. We're going to be making a super adorable star foraging toy, and you're going to need some twine for this. If you're wondering why my twine doesn't look like actual twine, it's because it's baker's twine, so you can get it in like fun colors and stuff. Anyways, you're going to also need some scissors, 5 popsicle sticks, and a hot glue gun. To start off, we're going to take our popsicle sticks and glue 2 of them together in a sort of V shape. Then place 2 more popsicle sticks on the open ends of the ones you just glued together and cross them sort of like an X. When you've done that, flip the shape over and glue 1 popsicle stick across attached to both of the open ends. You might have to like wiggle and adjust your star shape a little bit so that it looks even. I know I had to because my star was looking a little wonky. Next, you're going to grab your string and thread it through one of the holes in the star shape, and you're going to wrap that around the popsicle stick and tie it in a double knot. Then you can just go ahead and cut out that little like tail that's left over or whatever. And then we're going to wrap up the star with a bunch of string in a totally random pattern. Once you're happy with how your star looks, you can cut off the excess string. You can take that excess string and pull it through another loop that you've made and tie it off. Then just cut off the extra and you're done. Here's how the boredom breakers turned out. I made another green one and also a red variation, and I have to say the red is definitely my favorite. I just really like the color of it. You can put some treats in between the string so they make great foraging toys. I put some dried cucumber, apple, and a little bit of popcorn in there. So this DIY is not a boredom breaker, but rather a decoration for the cage, and we're going to be making a very simple paper star garland. For this, you're going to need some construction paper, a ruler, a pencil, scissors, and string. I know I showed thread here, but I later realized thread would kind of be a safety issue, as if it got tangled around your hamster's limbs, it could potentially cut your hamster, which that's not great at all, so don't use thread, just use string instead. That kind of rhymed. But anyways, you're also going to need a needle. The first step is to take your ruler and measure out 1/2-inch sections all across the width of your paper. Now all you're going to do is just go ahead and cut across those marks you just made. Once you've cut out all your paper strips, I'm going to show you how to fold up a paper star, and it's actually really easy to do. So to begin, you're going to take your paper strip and make a very loose knot in it. You want to pull this knot until the strip of paper forms a sort of pentagon shape, and you might have to pull on both sides of the paper strip to come up with a more perfect shape. Once you've got an even looking pentagon, you're going to flatten it and fold that little tail of paper inward so you can't see it anymore. Then you're going to take that very long length of paper left over and keep folding it around the pentagon shape until you reach the end. Now you're just going to tuck the excess paper inside one of the folds you just made, which will act sort of like a pocket. And you're going to place 2 fingers on the pentagon and poke inward, pinching each point of the shape until you form this star. You might have to go around a couple of times, keep pinching it and shaping it until the star looks the way that you want it to, as well as you might have to keep practicing until you can get a nice enough looking star. I definitely had to. There were a lot of failed attempts along the way. You're going to repeat that folding process for all those strips of paper, and once you're finished with that, you're going to grab your string and your needle, knot your string, thread your needle, and then you're going to stab the needle horizontally through the star and thread it onto the string like a bead. Next, you're just going to repeat that process with the rest of the stars. knot your string at the end, and you're done. For the final DIY, we're going to be making a super cute candy cane boredom breaker. You're going to need some cardboard for this, white and red non-toxic water-based paint, a paintbrush, a pencil, scissors or a knife to cut out your cardboard, a hot glue gun, and finally your hamster's seed mix. First off, you're going to trace out a candy cane shape onto your cardboard. My candy cane ended up about 5 inches long and 1.25 inches wide, just for some dimensions. Once you're finished sketching out your candy cane, go ahead and cut it out, and you're going to be using that candy cane you just cut out as a template. Trace it back onto the cardboard, cut that shape out, so that you end up with 2 candy canes in the end. So now that you've got 2 candy cane shapes, you're going to cut out 2 strips of cardboard that are 2 inches thick, and however long that you can cut them. Right here I just sketched out a stripe design, and then we can begin painting on the red and white stripes. With the boredom breaker painted and dried, you're going to bend that long strip of cardboard until it's very flexible. Place some hot glue along the edges of the candy cane shape that you did not paint. And glue that long strip of cardboard all the way along the edge. I had to cut a bit of extra cardboard because I had an empty space right here. Next, you're just going to grab about a tablespoon of your hamster's food, pour that into the boredom breaker, and then you're going to seal off the top with the candy cane shape that you painted. And that is it for this toy. Off camera, I actually went ahead and made a few more variations to this toy, so there is a gingerbread man, snowman, and a peppermint candy as well. So there's just some inspiration for you. I think they all turned out super adorable. So I've just got a few short and cute clips of Crookshanks left playing with his toys. His favorite was definitely this star one. As soon as I put it in his cage, he tried getting the treats out. Well, that is going to be about it for this video. If you make any of the DIYs, let me know in the comments as always. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you and your hamster have a great Christmas. Or hamsters. Or pets. Or whatever. Have a great Christmas.